becomes easy to predict, and easier to walk away from. Not because emotion is weak, but because undisciplined emotion is. She wants to feel you. But not all of you at once. Not the overwhelm. Not the over-explaining. Not the apologies for simply being a man with weight. Wants to feel the edge. The containment. The quiet power of a man who's walked through fire, and learned to warm without burning. Access to your soul, but through a gate, not a flood. Because it's not your vulnerability that repels her. It's the lack of control in how you offer it. Real masculine energy doesn't hide. But it also doesn't perform. It stands. Grounded in purpose. Measured in speech. Open, but not owned by the moment. And this is the paradox. The more emotionally in command you are, the safer she feels to open. Because your containment creates space for her expansion. You don't need to posture. You don't need to pretend. You simply need to lead, with calm, not chaos. Machiavelli said, "It is better to act from necessity than choice." And in the modern world, the necessity is self-command. Because if you're emoting, approval, attention, affection. But if you lead your emotions, you become the man no woman forgets. Not because you overwhelmed her, but because you stood firm when others broke. Part 7, The Power of Mystery, Why Silence Speaks to be Understood. You said too much. You overshared, over-explained, overexposed. Thinking transparency would build trust. But here's the truth. Mystery isn't deception. It's direction. It's not about hiding who you are. It's about holding yourself in a way that makes her lean in to discover you. Because not everything felt needs to be said. Not every thought deserves a voice. And not every truth requires translation. Real presence isn't loud. It's not constant reassurance or poetic speeches. It's the pause before you speak. It's the silence between her question and your answer. It's what she senses but can't define, the magnetic pull between curiosity and certainty. You thought sharing more would make her stay. In reality, you left no room for her to wonder. And what a woman can predict, she can no longer pursue. Because mystery activates instinct. It's the uncharted terrain she longs to explore. And when that terrain is too familiar, too mapped, too exposed, there's nothing left to journey toward. You became the map, not the mountain. And no one climbs what they've already seen from every angle. A woman doesn't fall for a man she fully understands. She falls for the man she feels deeply, yet still wants to know more about. That's the difference. Not withholding, protecting your inner world with intention. The modern man he's forgotten that discernment is power. Because a man who gives everything away too and a man with no boundaries around his soul may attract attention, but never lasting respect. Machiavelli knew this well. He wrote not for lovers, but for leaders. And his lesson was simple. Power isn't about what you reveal. It's about what you reserve. Your attention. Let it be earned. Your story. Let it unfold slowly. Your heart. Let hold it. Because every piece of yourself you offer should be sacred. And if you give it away too easily, too soon, she won't cherish it. She'll wonder why it caused her wonder. Let her know your presence more than your words. Because when your silence holds weight, your voice becomes power. And when your mystery holds depth, your love becomes legendary. Final truth, the unshakable man. She didn't leave because you failed. She left because you forgot. That love isn't taken. It's earned. Not by chasing, but by becoming. Not by needing her, but by standing firm whether she stays or goes. Machiavelli's greatest lesson wasn't about control. It was about command of the self. And the man who masters that doesn't lose. He chooses. So rebuild. Not for her. For you. Because the right woman won't love you for how much you give up, but for how much you stand in. And when you do, she won't just stay. She'll never want to leave. Why she left, a lesson in power and presence. She didn't leave because you weren't enough. She left because she understood you, and in her world, certainty isn't safety, it's stagnation. She wasn't chasing perfection. She was drawn to mystery. And you, unfortunately, became predictable. The world doesn't reward loyalty as much as it respects restraint. The greatest restraint you'll ever master is over yourself. You were taught to be kind, to give endlessly, to love without conditions. They told you goodness would win her over. But they were wrong. Machiavelli wouldn't mock you out of cruelty, he'd laugh because he knew what most men never learn: power isn't given. It's taken, by winning the war within. She didn't walk away because you lacked value. She withdrew because you were always sparing, too easy to grasp. You weren't an enigma anymore. You were a solved equation. And what's fully understood can be managed, not desired. The one that once made you feel invincible, wasn't love. It was instinct, the magnetic pull of polarity. But you confused curiosity for connection, her tests for tenderness. Machiavelli wrote, "A ruler doesn't need to be good, only to survive." Survival doesn't come from seeking approval, it comes from inner stillness. From being anchored, not cold, but composed. In the silent dance between men and women, power doesn't belong to the loudest voice or the strongest hand. It belongs to the man who remains unreadable, who doesn't beg or justify. Because worth isn't spoken. It's embodied. Women aren't drawn to chaos. They're drawn to steadiness, to the man who feels deeply but doesn't drown in it. Who speaks when silence holds meaning. Who reveals just enough, never everything. Most men rush to be seen. They overshare. Over-compliment. Over-confess. Every gesture whispers the same plea, "Please like me." And nothing erodes attraction faster than neediness. You thought you were being romantic. To her, it felt like surrender. She didn't leave out of malice. Her instincts whispered, "This man or..." When she pulls back, she's not asking, "Do you